Is the Carbone Spicy Rigatoni sauce as good as my copycat recipe? Why don't we give it a shot? We'll test Carbone versus Carbone in today's cooking adventure. So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna cook both of these at the same time. I'm gonna be pretty irritated if after all the work I go through to make my copycat recipe of the Carbone Spicy Rigatoni isn't as good as this. I've never tried this before, and this is a first time experience.
Welcome to Carbone, the iconic Italian-American restaurant in the heart of New York City. Known for its classic yet elevated cuisine, Carbone has become a culinary landmark. Founded by the renowned chef Mario Carbone, this dining experience takes you back to the mid-20th century New York, with its nostalgic ambiance and its impeccable service. Mario Carbone, the visionary behind this establishment, has crafted a menu that pays homage to his Italian roots while infusing modern culinary techniques. Today we're diving into Carbone's signature dish, the spicy vodka rigatoni. We'll compare the restaurant's famous recipe to their jarred sauce, using our copycat recipe that gets you as close as can be to the restaurant experience. Now come on this adventure with us as we go Carbone versus Carbone.
So our challenger today hails from the Carbone restaurant. I acquired this whole setup online, actually from Amazon. It came with 2 boxes of rigatoni and a measuring cup. So we're gonna follow this exactly as Carbone states on the recipe, and it actually comes with this really nice recipe. I'll leave pictures of this into the comments, but you can see it's really simple. It just says, take 24 ounces of this sauce, a box of pasta, 8 ounces of heavy cream, and 2 tablespoons of butter. So I think I'll be able to heat that up and get it simmering while I'm in preparation for our actual copycat sauce. So let's get cooking. Let's get our burner out and get ready to start sauteing our onions and garlic. Okay, we can take a look. We can see the onions are really starting to caramelize now. Alrighty, so we're somewhere around 10 minutes on these onions. We're getting almost there. I would say another 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're gonna add our garlic. Okay, I can smell it. Everything's starting to break down really nice here. We're probably now just a few minutes into this. Probably, what I like to do is just turn up the heat just a bit here. And then I want to go ahead and add my garlic. Again, with garlic, you want to make sure you're getting it really well. You get that really, really beautiful, intense garlic flavor. In my experience, somewhere between 3 and 4 tablespoons of this for the quantity we're making. So in this case, I'm gonna go with, I like mine spicy, so I'm gonna go with 4 heaping tablespoons of our chilies. Now we've added the chilies and the garlic, and we wanna spend a couple minutes sauteing this all together. Man, that smells so good. I love making this sauce. The purpose of bringing all these ingredients together early, whenever you're making a sauce, is to start incorporating flavors into fat. I'm seeing this, boy, that flavor. Okay, as now the colors are starting to get darker and red, you can see that. This is the point where I know it's exactly time to add my tomato paste. So again, use my little cheat method, put that on. Now I got the whole can out without having to get my hands dirty. And tomato paste, really important to work it around. You're gonna see a deeper red hue come in as we do this. So I want to spend a couple minutes of incorporating the tomato paste into the foundation of this sauce. All right, I think we're almost there. Okay. Let's go ahead now and add a can of whole tomatoes, liquid and everything. But right now it's just good. We're gonna cook this for about 10 minutes here. We really want to incorporate all the flavors together here. So I'm keeping this on a medium heat still. In the meantime, I put on the stove a big pot of salted water to get ready for our rigatoni. Once I get the sauce to where it's starting to bubble just a little bit, I'm gonna add our vodka. Okay, I think we're kind of getting to the point where probably about 8 to 10 minutes of simmering this, that I think I should begin the process of getting the other jar sauce ready. All right, we're gonna follow this exactly as it says. In a medium saucepan, combine 1 jar of our Carbone Spicy Vodka with 8 ounces of heavy cream and bring to a simmer over medium-low heat. Okay, pretty simple. And we have 1 beautiful jar. Let's give this a shot. Hey, open it on the first shot. Okay. I think color-wise, they're starting around the same place, so that makes me happy. It's good, because we want to make sure that we're ending up with the same thing. So what I'm going to do is add 1 cup of heavy cream. Interestingly, both of our recipes call for 1 cup of heavy cream. So we're going to add the 1 cup of heavy cream to the Carbone. I said I wanted to take about 10 minutes on this. So we'll let this keep going. I'm going to get the pasta now into the water. Very critical step here. Okay. Looks like this is going well. So what we want to do here is once we've got this cooked down, it's been about 10 minutes we've cooked this down. What I like to do is turn the heat off now, because I don't really want to cook the cream. And then I'm going to simply add my cream to this. Honestly, just by looking at these, this one appears to me to look more like what Carbone sauce looks like from an orange standpoint versus this one. This one almost has like a pink hue. This one over here is a little more orange. I hope the cameras can pick that up. So you want to do this, let this cook down for a couple minutes as we incorporate it together. Now the next step that we're going to do is take an immersion blender just for a minute or two, and I'll grab my blender. If you don't have an immersion blender at home, you could take this out and pour it into like a standard mixer, blender, something like that. You can leave it chunky, but that's not really getting the same taste that we're trying to achieve. So trying to follow this recipe perfectly, we're going to use the immersion blender. Okay, if we look now, we can see that I don't have any of those large chunks of it. If we look at our sauce now, we can see that all of those large chunks of tomatoes are gone, and we have a very nice, smooth, consistent sauce. Simultaneous both sauces here. You can see this sauce just starting to bubble a little over here. And I believe what they want, I'll have to go back and look. I believe the directions say that we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter to this when we put our pasta in and toss it. I'm going to try, I did 2 pounds of pasta, so I did 2 boxes. So I could give each sauce its own box, so I could do the portion so it would look similar. So the amount of sauce that each makes, we can see how it compares. So let's keep going. So I just pulled, you can see this water, it's got all sorts of stuff in it. This is our pasta water. I just pulled this, set that aside. I would say another minute and a half on that pasta. It's close, it's not perfect. Okay, so as we've got our sauce here, we're gonna add our Parmesan and our pasta water to this, and really till we get the consistency of the sauce to how thick we want. If you want it thinner, if you want it thicker, you control a lot of that by using the pasta water. Right now, you can see it's very runny, whereas this is a much thicker version of that right now. But we'll thin this out. This to me is too thin, and this to me is too thick. I don't want you to add any cheese. You can finish the cheese if you want. Okay. Now what we want to do is add our Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to start with about 1/2 cup to begin with. And then I'm going to mix it in, and I'm going to be thinning out my sauce by adding the appropriate amount of the pasta water. So I'm going to turn this here a little. That sauce, now again, you can see how thin this sauce is. You can compare that to the other sauce that we're making. It's much thicker. Again, this is probably just a tad too thick, so what I'm going to do is add a little more cheese to this sauce. And then we're going to add a little more of the pasta water. You don't want to go too much because you don't want to dilute your sauce too much by any means. That's perfect. When I can see it slash up against the sides and kind of just put a nice even layer when it cooks back. That to me is where pasta should sit. So in this case, we'll add the 2 tablespoons of butter. And over here, we're gonna add half of our pasta. And that looks pretty good. And over here, we'll add the other half. Okay, now what we're gonna do is give it a good mix. Man, do we have Carbone Spicy Rigatoni right here? I can tell you this pot's gonna be as close as I think you're gonna get, but we will really find out the true champion of this sauce. Heat off there, turn this off, and we'll give this pasta a run down. It definitely looks different. Of course, I'm partial to one already, but again, it's all about flavor. Looks are one thing. Because really, if you can do this by just pouring some heavy cream into a jar of sauce and it turns out and it's relatively good, that's awesome. Maybe you don't just have the time or the effort, desire to go through and cook as much as what you cooked today, even though we did 2 batches. But it's good to know. So I'm gonna let these sit for a second. Let them rest. Now that the sauces are done with the pasta in them, we want to do our blind taste test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these aside, clear this area up, and then make 2 portions to be tasted, and then we'll let Miss Liv taste it and let us know what she thinks is the best. So here we are at the Carbone taste-off. I'll let you try them both, and you tell me which one you prefer. So you pick which one first. Okay? Give it a shot.
It is kind of spicy. I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like that.
All right, now let's try this one.
This is not as spicy, but I still like the flavor. But I think when I have spicy rigatoni, I like for it to actually be spicy. So, but I feel bad because I feel like this is the one you made.
Well, which one do you think is more authentic? One that is more in line with Carbone?
This one.
Okay. All righty. Well, the reveal?
The reveal.
All righty. This came from a jar. That's Carbone's in the jar sauce.
You're kidding.
Oh, and this is my copycat recipe.
Are you actually being serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm going to try it now.
It's really good.
So I have a pretty good idea what mine tastes like, but I haven't tried it yet. So I'm going to start this way. Okay. So let me see how this is. A little spice. Not bad. Good flavor. Honestly, to come out of a jar, that's pretty good.
True.
And then this is my copycat recipe. Okay. It's a no-brainer. This is much better. This has got layers of flavor.
Yeah.
Like you can taste the tomato paste, you can taste the garlic, like Calabrian peppers. You can really taste those and the flavor is good. This one reminded me of Carbone because it had that first,
True.
but this one,
And I feel like this is like spicier than what I remember at Carbone. It's not too much though. It's like the perfect amount of like spicy. It doesn't overwhelm.
so now I'm gonna plate these up on a platter, get some pretty pictures of both of these and say, look, I've got a wonderful Italian dinner in front of me right now. This is pretty solid for out of a jar. Like I don't really like jarred pasta sauce. I mean, back when I was a kid, I would heat them up and I enjoyed them because I didn't know how to cook. But now that I've gotten a little older, I never will use pasta sauce out of a jar anymore. And this one is outstanding for what it is. By just adding cream into it, it's great. But if I was gonna be a snob and say I just want the best one to eat, this one wins hands down. It's so much better, it has much more layers of flavor. And if you saw the time it took to do this, it's really not that difficult. A little more time consuming, but not really too dependent on skills. All you really need to do is chop up an onion, chop up some garlic, cook it for a while, add the rest of your ingredients, and really get this incredibly great spicy rigatoni. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the first time we did a taste test. I really like the idea of seeing how well a canned product with their name on it goes to a copycat recipe. And so any day of the week, you're gonna wanna eat this. But if it's Thursday and you don't feel like cooking, this isn't a bad option. Take care.